Welcome to the Solipsist Cinema Podcast. Today we're going to talk about episodes 3 and 4 of the new season of Rehearsal. And joining me is my girlfriend Jackie again.
Hello.
Yeah. So, just like usual, this is still one of the best shows on TV that like no one's talking about. I don't see anyone post about it really ever. But so yeah, adding to what we did last week, let's kind of go through it a little bit. Episode 3, Nathan talks to this couple that clones a dog because he wants a more realistic environment from birth, basically, to try to clone someone's environment.
Yeah, so we meet this couple where I'm pretty sure they said that they paid like $50,000 to get their dead dog cloned, and they get 3 dogs. And so they start saying that the dog looks the same, but their behavior is different from the original. So this is Nathan's opportunity to like recreate a bunch of weird things just for these dogs, and that is the crazy and hilarious part.
Yeah, because they moved, like from where they live now. So to get the exact environment the dog grew up in, he like brings compressed air from San Jose and drives it to Los Angeles, so that when the dog goes on a little walk, he can like breathe the same air that the original dog was breathing. But so overall, though, the concept that it does touch on is kind of just like nature versus nurture, kind of seeing if you can perfectly recreate, someone's environment and like how they'll turn out. And I think like, yeah, in theory, I think if you could perfectly recreate, the environments, I think we live in like a determinist world rather than like free will. I have some video essays about that. But of course, that's something that Nathan like just can't achieve. Like it's never going to be the same exact circumstances. Like the only way you can do that is like, yeah, if you literally like rewind time over and over again, the free will thing, do you feel like you could have made a different choice at that moment? And if you could literally rewind the clock of time, it would be no, because the circumstances that caused you to make that choice are going to infinitely be the same if you're just rewinding time. But Nathan creating this experiment, obviously, it's just hilarious because, yeah, he gets this couple together and they have like fake fights to simulate the same environment that the dog had.
He hires actors to copy like the couple, and so they start taking notes about their lives, about what they fight about what they like doing, like everything about their lives.
Yeah,
so these actors they've never met, so now they have to pretend to live together and like get into fights, and just for the dog, just so they can act this way in front of the dog, and somehow doing this, the dog will start acting like the original dog.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, one of the things like why they cloned it in the first place was that the woman like really wanted to have children, and the guy didn't. And he's just kind of awkward, and like, yeah, she's kind of like always passive aggressive to him, kind of. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's just so uncomfortable. Like Nathan always just finds the most like just weirdest people to do his experiments on.
Yeah, like they're having a discussion, and she's like kind of happy about it, like really in a good mood. She's like, yeah, I wanted to have children, but he wasn't ready, and like she keeps going, and then the guy starts talking. He's like, yeah, I was like so depressed and sad.
Yeah, he's like, I just focus on work. Which I mean,
and that's just awkward, as a like audience just watching.
So it's probably like don't, if that's the like relationship you have, don't have a kid, like have a dog or something instead. But yeah, and something I know this isn't gonna do anyone favors for my popularity, but something I've never gotten is people's love for their animals to like the degree where they just have so much love for them. I'm just not an animal person, so it is still interesting seeing just how attached they are to the original. And so just watching them kind of like watch the dog do the most like mundane things, like it copies the cat's behavior, like walking on the couch, and the woman like she tears up like it's just like her original dog. And you just feel bad that like they have this like such a passion and like longing for them, but like just like a human, I guess, like you just can't recreate that. Like it's gone.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the original dog. There's just nothing else you can do about that. And I mean, they tried it. They tried to recreate the original dog, but it's not gonna happen. Oh, but one of the craziest parts of this like scene was that so the dog, they have to walk the dogs, right? And so you were talking about how they captured air from like a different city where they used to live in, and then they're exposing it to the dog. But they also hire like people just walking down the street arguing
Yeah.
about, I don't know what's going on around that city, again, just for the dog. Can isn't that the dog doesn't even know what's going
Yeah,
on, and they're
they had like
hiring.
a Jared Subway advertisement because it was like period piece appropriate to when they had the dog. And like, yeah, the dog doesn't even. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, she like fakes having like one of the actors fakes having like a diabetic, like, attack or something like that. And like she says that the real dog like came to her rescue, and then in
Yeah.
the simulation like environment, the dog just couldn't care less at all about her at all. So it's kind of like sad. Like it kind of was. Yeah, ultimately was a failed experiment, which leads like
Right.
to the pretty much whole second half where Nathan. So there's basically this captain, Soley, who had to, like in real life, he had this emergency landing in the Hudson River. It was like a big thing, like in the news apparently. And Nathan found the transcripts, and apparently, like right before they chose to go in the Hudson River, Captain Soley was receptive to just advice from the pilot, the co-pilot, and was just asking for ideas. So Nathan figures that if he can recreate the life of Sully, then he can engineer pilots from scratch in a similar way to do the same thing that Nathan or that Sully would have. And it's actually really cool that Sully does have like an autobiography about his life. So Nathan just goes through like page after page just with the most like mundane random details. And I don't even know why the pilot even put some of the stuff in his like memoir that he did. We can talk about that a little later, but so that's basically what Nathan does. But in Nathan's like ethical view, he wants to do the experiment on himself before he puts it on others. So like
I guess thanks for that.
in the most like terrifying sequence, he slowly, like, you just see him put on a bald cap, and you're like, okay, like he's gonna look like Sully how he does now, and then he just emerges as this baby in this
Oh
diaper,
God.
and it's just the most like haunting image. And he's in like this room that's like a 3-to-1 scale, so that he's like technically small, and his parents are like these giant puppets, with
Puppets.
like these like people in like these black suits, like like puppeteering their arms.
Yeah.
And he's just so like, yeah,
Oh,
like
man.
expressionless the whole time, and he just takes it so seriously, and like he's just so into it, like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's pure nightmare. You can't look away. You want to look. It's just the craziest and funniest thing I've ever seen.
Like it's almost, yeah, like Nathan's like the character of him is almost like an alien's idea of like recreating a human environment, like if alien just saw from afar
Yeah.
how they behave. And yeah, like all of it is just so unnatural and surreal. And then yeah, like he breastfeeds from his mom, and it's just like this like fire hose of like soy milk just shooting into his
Oh
mouth
God,
for like way
dude.
too long.
I seriously want to throw up in that
Oh.
part. So gross.
Yeah, but then yeah, you still do think about like the nature versus nurture stuff, and like, I mean, on one degree, like how serious are you gonna really take it? Because yeah, obviously, like he's a full-grown man, like his parents aren't like actual puppets and stuff, so there's no way like the character of Nathan should think that this is gonna work at all. But this is so outlandishly just funny, and like just the sets that they do, that like, yeah, it's just entertaining.
Yeah, this is one of the craziest episodes I say like he ever did.
Yeah, like it's up there with like when he made like the box so that the porn stars could have like sex in the hotel, so that, and then like the little box for the children so that they could be in it, and like it's all soundproof and they don't even know, so that the parents can like have like the romantic getaway. That's like the craziest thing he's done since then.
I want like a documentary of like the crew that works on this set. I just want to know what they're thinking. Like, how crazy is this man?
Yeah, I wonder how many takes they have to do, because it all seems like
Seriously.
it's all like one take that's happening. But I mean, yeah, like there's no way, like they have to like rehearse the rehearsal. That could be the documentary, like the rehearsal of the
Right.
rehearsal.
Oh man. Yeah.
But then yeah, so to Sully's book, yeah, like he has like just weird details in his life about like feeding his sister like little pebbles
Yeah.
that were really small. And so his sister, I don't know who plays his sister, but she just has like a really weird doll like mask on, and it's just so unsettling. And
Yeah, it doesn't look like a human. Looks like a doll's face.
yeah, like it's like like I said, like an alien's view. Like an alien would see, oh, humans have two eyes, a nose, and a mouth, and they just like arrange it. Like it's like AI also. It's just like
Yeah.
putting all the pieces together, but everything is just so disjointed and horrifying.
Yeah, I mean, I think learning about his life is good, but you don't have to start from him being a baby. Like, what the
Yeah,
heck?
it's just so fun. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, like you can over. It's not something you can overanalyze because you can say like obviously, yeah, like who knows the exact, you know, influence that would have caused Sully to behave the way he is. So going from scratch obviously isn't going to be feasible. But yeah, so it's just funny. And then yeah, so one of the weirdest parts, I guess, somehow, is that Nathan reads about how Sully took a childhood crush on like this
Oh my
simulate like a flight. So Nathan does the same thing. And so Sully actually says in the book that this was like key to him compartmentalizing his romantic feelings and kind of focusing on work. So Nathan, to do that, he tries to get himself aroused, but if for to have ethics on the set, he just has everyone leave, and you don't actually see if he does or not. But he says that he made himself like masturbate to become
Yeah.
aroused, so that he could try to fly the plane while he had those feelings of arousal and kind of ignore it and get into Sully's perfect mind space.
Yeah, like what's creepier, like him masturbating there in that scene, or like where he's getting milk from his mom as a baby? Like, what is?
Oh.
They're both so crazy.
Yeah, like it's just so like outlandish. Like that's like the best thing every episode is seeing like how he's gonna outdo the social awkwardness like every single time. So yeah, like, and again, like some of the stuff he talks about like does make sense. Like, yeah, you do need to I can't even say it, compartmentalize like some of your personal feelings and really be able to like focus on the job to just be professional. And yeah, so he just takes it a step further.
Yeah, so on the emergency landing, that's where he notices on the transcript that there's 23 seconds of silence, and that's like the next part of Sully's life where he starts talking about like music. And so Nathan has this theory that Sully was listening to like a song for like the chorus of a song.
Yeah, Bring Me to Life by Evanescence.
Yeah, that's his theory about like why there was like a 23 second silence when the emergency landing was happening.
Yeah, it just like perfectly coincides with like the chorus from Bring Me to Life. Because yeah, and did say like earlier in the episode, he goes through his memoir and he's like finding just the things he like chooses to leave in and out. It's kind of interesting because he'll skip over an entire marriage that he had, but then he'll go into detail about like his iPod and like his routine and stuff. So yeah, I don't even know. I think it is. Yeah, he actually specifically mentions Evanescence along with a few other artists.
Oh, and now how like music, he uses music to like cope. That was a thing also.
Yeah, and yeah, like we said last episode, the thing with the pilots, he can't say how he was coping because the it's not like the FDA, but it's whoever is like in charge of the pilots. Like if you say if you're having like suicidal tendencies or something, you could get grounded and not be able to fly. So he's not specific with how he copes exactly. So Nathan just makes the reach of saying that it's probably music, which it could be like to some degree, but I don't know in the way. Yeah, I don't know if Sully was singing "Bring Me to Life" when he was in the cockpit. But he's kind of like a character. Like he talks about like when he was in boot camp trying to like undo his southern like twang that he has, and like he kind of felt like an outcast. So and yeah, it seems like a lot of pilots, I was gonna save this till the end, but I guess we're pretty much at the end of the episode that like a lot of the pilots just seem so isolated. Like Nathan shows that people's video auditions that they sent in were pretty much just like them having like therapy sessions, like just talking to anyone who would listen. So it seems just like a untapped like market of people that are just sad and need someone to talk to.
Yeah, like he was saying that after the interviews, like reaching out to people were over, like these pilots kept following up and just wanted to talk to the camera. And they even said like talking to the camera is like talking to a therapist. I mean, that part of the episode made me sad, which is crazy. Like after seeing the craziest like scenes, in the show, like you learn something like so sad, like people feel like they're talking to a therapist just when they're talking to a camera.
Yeah, it's kind of like an Uber driver or something when you can, just open up to some stranger that you're never going to see again just because you have like the option to talk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like it randomly gets like really serious like that, but most of it is just like comedy the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Especially that episode.
Yeah, that one's like, yeah, just like so outlandish. I mean, I guess that's pretty much it. Like the cloning of the dog was just really like a small part of the episode, but I do like the nature versus nurture elements that he touches on. But yeah, he does move on pretty fast. So yeah, basically in episode 4, there's this pretty young pilot that's also pretty kind of like socially awkward named Colin. And so yeah, to try to get Colin more comfortable like expressing his feelings, Nathan like he takes like the animals like herd mentality and just has like 15 actors follow him around and just copy like everything he says and his body language. And Colin seems like kind of cool with it, and he's just always saying okay, but it's just like the most awkward thing.
Yeah, seriously, he's just like, okay.
Yeah, he just always says yup.
Okay. But yeah, like, so anytime Colin is talking, these group of hired actors are also just copying the same thing that he's saying, which is like, I mean, they're all talking at the same time, so we can't really even hear what Colin is saying.
Yeah, it's just so unnatural.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then after that, Nathan finds out that like some of the female actors find Colin attractive. And so it's funny like where Nathan like chooses to like mention the ethics of what he's doing, because he says like he brings up that it would be unethical to like tell them to ask him out.
Yeah.
But like in like his weird way, he's just like, yeah, but if you just wanted to ask him out, it would be okay, and I wouldn't stop you. So like,
but then he also asked them, but do you have good intentions? Like are these good? Like, what are they gonna do? Lie to you or tell you the truth?
Yeah, but it's funny the way he finds this out is from him like spying on people's conversations, like on set, and he's just like in the corner just lurking, like listening to them talk,
like a creep.
Yeah, and then yeah, because that's how he confronts him. Colin just asking about his like personal life and dating, and like there's no like natural way that Nathan could have found this information like from Colin's perspective. Like he has to know that the cameras just so it's weird, and you wonder what version of like the real actors you're getting, because they all kind of know that they're being filmed the whole time.
Yeah, so maybe they want to say yes to whatever offer so they can be there longer.
Yeah, you kind of never know, especially with the girls like pursuing him. Yeah, you just wonder, like, do they want to be on the TV show for longer? Or not even consciously, like, is it just a fun, situation and you would say yes?
Yeah, like you see an opportunity, you're just like, yeah. He seems cool.
Yeah,
get to know him.
Yeah, there's that one lady. What was she saying about, she finds, like, intelligence
Einstein
attractive. And
she was attracted to him since she was a kid.
Yeah, and so she says, like, she was reading Einstein's, like, memoir, and she was getting wet, and Nathan almost like breaks character just like asking her about that, and she's just just like sharing just how she was reading it. She's like, I think there's a word for that, like sapiosexual or something like that, like when you're attracted to someone's intelligence. So
she just kept saying that, like, I get wet dreams, and so Nathan was like, oh really? Because he's having a group discussion
in front of like
with
everyone
the
else,
girls that are interested in Colin, and he's like, oh yeah, wet dreams like guys do, like how does that work with women? And she's like, well, I'm not awake, I'm not asleep, I'm awake. And he's like, is it a wet dream?
Yeah, I think by like wet dream she just meant like an involuntary action.
She just kept saying wet. It was so funny.
Yeah, but so this is when it gets like really interesting. So to remind everyone, like Nathan sets up this set of like 5 actors and recreates like dates and relationships that Colin and any of the potential suitors could go on. And so this creates like a different dilemma where now like the focus is kind of less on like learning from Colin's relationship, but it's basically kind of like analyzing the actors and how far they're willing to go. And you see like an intimacy coordinator on set, which I mean that's like her job is just basically to like just
like talk to them instead of the director. Yeah,
I guess like just so that there's not like that little like power imbalance, because they have like the director. Yeah, you could like feel as if the director is going to be kind of like subtly saying that you should do something when.
So yeah, Colin has a date with this girl named Emma, who's an actor, and so Nathan wants the date to go really well. So Nathan recreates like 5 sets of Colin's apartment, like to look exactly the same, and that's where he hires people to copy Emma and Colin. So remember, they had like a whole section where these actors are just studying Emma and Colin about like what they do, what they like, just so they can like start acting as them. And I don't know, just put them in the fake apartment and see like the like how they react in the situations.
Yeah, this is probably like the most interesting part of the episode because yeah, Nathan like asked like in asking the actors how far they're willing to go.
Yeah.
He's like kind of asking like, "Well, do you have a boyfriend? Is he gonna mind and stuff?" And like, "Oh no, he's cool with it. They're actors." So that is a thing like in Hollywood that there's like these married celebrities, but they're always in movies where they have like this romantic relationship, and you kind of have to like as the audience even disconnect them and kind of know that they're acting. And like if you want to suspend your disbelief in the movie to believe the actors are who they are in the movie, you have to kind of forget that they actually have like marriages and stuff. So like that, yeah, the actors on set, they kind of are just playing the roles of the characters.
Right.
But it's even weirder because in like an actual movie you have like a script and a story and like a bigger purpose, but here
Exactly.
they're just kind of in a room just like making
I
out
think
for
that's
the
why
show.
it feels weird, right? Because yeah, if you're in a movie, you have like all these big lights and um yeah, like the camera like right next to you, so it's basically uncomfortable. But here, like everybody has their own room and they're just getting like really intimate, and that's what Nathan finds weird, and that's when he starts asking them like, "Do you have a boyfriend or
Yeah,
girlfriend?" And they're like, "Yeah."
and then he brings the
Oh,
spouses
yeah.
of the actors like on set so that they can like from a different room view how their partner is acting with the actor on screen. And you don't know, but they seemingly be like fine with it. Like he like talks to them, he's like, "Yeah, so are you cool with them doing this?" And they're like, "Yeah, I know that she or he's an actor, I'm cool with it," or whatever. So it is weird because yeah, like as an actor you almost just have like free reign to like cheat on your spouse, but to label it as acting. And that's like not necessarily what like everyone's doing, but it is a gray area where you can kind of like tell yourself or your spouse that it's just acting. But in order to be a good actor, yeah, you have to, if you're going to cry on screen, you have to think about something sad and you're really living it. So in the moment with the actor, you're having to like embody them. So like it is like an ethical way to cheat almost. The only difference is normally it's like you're not choosing your partner, you're not choosing the script, like you're not like influencing it, you're obviously choosing to be on the movie. But there's so much stuff that's out of your control. But in this isolated environment, it's just up to them to choose. Like there's no script, it's just them making out like the whole time. Like
Yeah.
they're not really doing anything besides that.
Yeah. Yeah, and their answers just say, like they just kept saying like, "Well, we're just acting.
Yeah, so I
Like,
do
we're actors, so it's okay."
yeah, I like, yeah, this is just the most interesting part of it because yeah, like in your, what he brings up is like in your personal life, how often do you act or something? And I think like a lot of us probably do. Like if you're for a job interview, you're kind of embodying this different persona to try to get the job or be happy. I mean, people do that at work. Like yeah, like retail workers, they're acting to some degree, pretending that they're happy to be taking your order.
Yeah.
When you're around your parents, you're not going to be cursing as much as you would, and with your friends you're going to be behaving a certain way. So like acting is something that you always do when you're in a relationship, like day to day. So yeah, I just find that interesting because yeah, like who is it that's cheating on your spouse? Is it even you, or is it just a different version of you, and then you almost go back to your former self when you're like around the other person?
Dang. Yeah.
Like Severance also.
Yeah, like Severance. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, we go through that, and then finally Colin and Emma, they have like their own real date, and it goes well. And even like Colin has the courage to like kiss her. It's on the cheek, but he had the courage to do that.
Yeah. Well, no, I think when they're on the date, like at the mini golf, I think he hugs her, but later, I think because Nathan kind of tells this to Colin that he should like play a role like of the date.
Oh, right.
Like, and that's when he kisses her on the couch, like on the set. And that's like another thing. Like if you're gonna go on a date with a girl for the first time, like, yeah, maybe you're trying to show her your true self, but you're just so like unnatural and nervous and trying to
Right.
like highlight yourself, and you're dressing up, so like,
Don't want to say something dumb or
yeah, so you're always, yeah, it seems like anytime you're around people, you're always going to be acting to some degree.
Mm-hmm. And so when is it that you're your true self?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What about when you're by yourself? Are you acting?
I mean, maybe if you're having a pretend conversation with someone, I guess. But yeah, if there's no one to be behaving for and it's just you, then I mean, yeah, like you're not really saying anything, so you're not having to act. So you're not saying anything, so it doesn't really make sense to ask that to some degree. But I mean, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and also in this, like, Emma did seem like she did like Colin, like she was into him, so it didn't seem like she was acting.
Yeah, no, she seemed into it, and like, yeah, he says like the corny line of, can I kiss you? And then she says, yeah. And I don't know, people always say that's like corny because, yeah, like kind of like takes the like, the passion or like just the spark of it, like asking to do that.
Like being spontaneous.
Yeah,
just
yeah, like
doing it.
yeah. But honestly, like I've done that before because you just don't want to like misinterpret
Yeah, of course.
the things. Like, yeah, it's like, is the risk worth it? Like, it'd be a better kiss if you didn't have to ask and she wanted it, but if she didn't want it, then the risk isn't worth it. Like,
remember there was a girl in this episode where she was like, I was giving him the eye signal. And she's like,
yeah.
looking at his. Nathan's like, what is that? And she looks at his eyes and then his mouth and like back and forth. She does that a couple
yeah,
times.
he's like, all girls know about this.
Yeah, like that's a thing.
I think I actually remember someone like in middle school telling me that that's how they got girls to kiss them. He would like look at their eyes and then lips and then eyes.
I don't
and
know
then
if I
a
would
word.
do that. That seems so weird. Like I don't want to look at your eyes and mouth and then do that multiple times.
I think it's just that you're subtly like signaling them to like look down, and yeah. So I don't know, on screen does she do that much to Colin, because they're usually kind of far away. So I don't know if she does it.
I can't remember. I want to say maybe Emma did that to Colin maybe one time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the episode ends with Nathan going, or maybe it's a fake set, right? It's like he says it's like going to Washington and he's ready to like present.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, to like the original like ex like pilot that he like pitched this whole thing to. He sets up like a rehearsal of the Senate because yeah, like all this stuff in the show is just kind of like theory. Like obviously it's funny, but if you're gonna actually cause like real change, like voting in the Senate is gonna be where that actually occurs. So Nathan makes a rehearsal stage of the Senate and then practices on there. Yeah, I assume that's what the next episode is.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be probably the next episode, where he goes more into that.
Yeah, and it is. I wonder if somehow this actually gets to the Senate and like causes real legislation. Because like we mentioned last episode, like he has had stuff that affects the real world, like his Holocaust awareness like jacket company and stuff. So it would be cool if this actually did like have an effect. And that's the thing,
so.
like we were saying before, it is so outlandish, but I think like his effect that he had on Colin is a positive one. I think the pilot, like this experience has been good for him. So it is almost like wholesome in a way, the way it ends. It's like clarifying or bringing to light things that are under the surface, like the pilot's just like isolation from people and stuff like that, or like this problem with crashes. He identifies a real problem, but then I mean, yeah, we already said this last episode, but then making it popular through comedy is, I think, like just the most efficient way you can do that, because otherwise it would just be so boring and just legislative. But dramatizing the problem is yeah, it is weird. Yeah, like when's the last time you like even heard of a plane crash? Like I don't know, to me I didn't even think that was something that's like that common anymore. But I wonder if it's like sort of like school shootings where like it's technically maybe not as common as people think, but then you just hear about every single one, so it seems like it's happening like all the time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's probably more school shootings than crashes, but honestly, like maybe not. I don't know, maybe there's some crazy like international stuff that I just don't hear about that happens all the time. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I hope he like presents something that does work, That would be very cool.
Yeah, or at least someone in the industry kind of sees it, because yeah, it is like yeah, he actually does like analyze a problem, and there's so many like real world applications that on a lower scale that this stuff could apply to, just the problem of breaking the ice with people and just being more assertive and being more open, especially being more open to criticism. I think that's something like everyone in like every field of their life, or especially like in their personal life, could benefit from.
Yeah, like how are you supposed to improve if you don't get any feedback?
Yeah, or if you're not like willing to get feedback and being more, receptive to that. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess that's about it. They're like short episodes technically, but they go through so much in every single episode. And yeah, like again, just the concepts he touches on, like the nature versus nurture, is something that's always like foundational to rehearsal, because he's always trying to change the nature of someone through this super enhanced nurture process. And it's just, yeah, it's never gonna work. In the Nathan Fielder as like a real person knows that, but the character of Nathan Fielder in the show is just can't comprehend that. And when it gets meta and he kind of like is questioning himself of like why it isn't working, like yeah, it's just brilliant.
Yeah, what a great show.
Yeah. So yeah, there's only 2 more episodes. So I mean, yeah, I can't wait to see what will happen. Who
Me
knows?
too. Like again, I hope something good in Washington.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that's it. See you guys later.
Bye.